let's talk about supplementary. Supplementary, two angles are supplementary if their measures add up to be what? 180. So here's how we can remember that. Look, an S is made with two C's, and we know that complementary is 90, right? So 90, 90 is 180. So we can draw a picture of this. Woo, pretend that's a straight line. A little crooked. 3 and 4, we could say measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 is 180 degrees. Okay, so we're going to apply that with our algebra skills. Are you ready? Find the measure of angle ABC and CBD. So again, ABC here, CBD here. What do we know about ABD? Okay, so the measure of ABD equals 180. So these are supplementary. So we can set it up and we can say 8x plus 9 plus 6x plus 17 equals 180. We're going to solve, we're going to simplify by collecting like terms. 14x plus 26 equals 180. What do we do now? Minus the 26. Good, from both sides. Don't forget to borrow, or you can use your calculator. You should get 154 here. How many 14s are in 154? Should get 11. But are we done? Is that our answer? No, because they want the measure of the angle. So we're going to come back over here and say 8 times 11 is 88. 88 and 9 is 97. Now you have two options to find this other one. You can say 180 minus 97, or you can say, if we know that x is 11, 6 times 11 plus 17. Either way you get 83. How do you feel about supplementary angles? Yeah? What about adjacent? We kind of talked a little bit about this word when we did exterior angle theorem. They share a common side. Good. They are adjacent. My room is adjacent to Miss Henning's. It is what? Next to. We share a wall. So, adjacent angles are two angles that share a common vertex. Do you know this word? That's where the corner is, right? That middle part of the angle. They share a vertex and a side, but they have no common interior points. Okay? So if we go back to one that we did a minute ago, both are supplementary and complementary. These are adjacent. ABC is adjacent to CBD. They are next to. ABC, CBD. We can say CBD is adjacent to DBE. They're next to each other. Does that make sense? So here I have a picture. Use the diagram to determine whether the angles are adjacent. We'll worry about these other two after we do those, okay? So adjacent means, again, actually, let's go back right here. I want to write one more thing. Which is what I was just saying, they are right next to each other. So what do you think, looking at this picture, which ones are adjacent or next to each other? Give me one. Give me one, Owen. 4 and 5. So look right here. 4 and 5 is actually listed. We can write 80J for adjacent. They give us some choices. Are 1 and 2 adjacent? Are they next to each other? Yes. What about letter C says 7 and 9? Are these adjacent? Yeah, like adjective, yes. 6 and 9, are these adjacent? No. 2 and 6, are these adjacent? No, there are other adjacent angles in this picture. They're just not listed. We could say 2 and 3 are adjacent, 6 and 7, 6 and 8, 8 and 9. Okay, we already said 4 and 5. Are you okay with that? What adjacent means? All right, the next one says linear pair. Linear meaning what? Line. So if it is a linear pair, it is also supplementary. So two adjacent angles, so two angles that are next to each other are a linear pair if the non-common sides are opposite rays. So let's look at this. Linear pair are always supplementary. Supplementary means they add up to be what? 180. Good. So we can say, what do you think over here? Are 1 and 2 a linear pair? Will these equal 180? Yes. They will? 180? A straight line, 1 and 2? Maybe 1, 2, and 3. What about 4 and 5? Are these a linear pair? Yes. So you can see that groups of angles can be classified multiple ways. What about 7 and 9? Yes. Good job. And then you second guess yourself right here, linear pair. What about 6 and 9? No. 2 and 6. Are these a linear pair? Are they next to each other? No. There are others. You could say 6 and 7. You could say 6 and 8. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's angles that up to make a straight line. All right, last one. Vertical. All right, vertical angles. Two angles are vertical if their sides form two pairs of opposite rays. What does that mean? This is another way to write this. Opposite, these are opposite angles. Yes, I have clones, yes. If I had some clones, that would actually make things easier. These are opposite angles. Here's a star for you, vertical angles are always, 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 forever, until the end of time, congruent. Do you remember what congruent means? They're equal. Okay, so here is a picture. Here is one line and another. So these are opposite sides. This is what we call vertical angles. Okay, we could also say these are vertical angles. Does that make sense? So they're diagonal from each other. And they are equal. So they're not diagonal from each other. 1 and 3 are not diagonal from each other. 6 and 9, yes, very good. So 6 and 9 are across from each other. These are vertical angles. Nope, not 2 and 3. They have to be 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are a linear pair. They are also supplementary. They are adjacent. 7 and 8, yes. We can add it here. They didn't give us that one. This right here these are the only vertical angles we have. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right, so we said 1 and 2 are adjacent. They were next to each other. 4 and 5 are adjacent and a linear pair. They're next to each other and they make a straight line. 180. 7 and 9 were adjacent. They were next to each other and a linear pair. Guys, typically if they're a linear pair, they're adjacent, just so you know. 6 and 9 are vertical angles. What about 2 and 6? Are 2 and 6 anything? No. This is not. Okay? So those are our notes. Do we have any questions about that? So I'm going to ask you to take the information on the notes we just did. You don't have to solve anything on 1, 2, or 3. Just tell me, is it complementary? What does complementary mean again? Yep. 90. What is supplementary? 180. Or neither. What is it going to add up to? Write and solve an equation, determine x. So I'm not asking you to find the angle measures, just tell me what x equals. You have to decide. So these are complementary. So these two would add up to 90. Add up to 90. Down here, these are what? Supplementary. These add up to 180. Set up your equation and solve it. Then I give you a word problem. You might want to draw a picture. If angles C and D are supplementary, if D is 45, what is C? On the back, we have some pictures. Find the unknown angles. So they tell us, I'm going to do one of these with you. They tell us 2 is 45. You need to tell me what 1, 3, and 4 are. What do we know about if 2 is 45? Think about and use your notes if you need to. What do you know? 4 is what? 4 is also 45 because they are what? These are vertical. Very good. And vertical angles are congruent. Okay, what else do you know? What is equal to 180? Good call. This is, right? This is what we call a linear pair or supplementary, right? So what? So we just need to do 45 plus something is 180 to get angle 1, right? You can subtract 45 from 180 and we get 135. That is the measure of angle what? 1 and 3. All right? There are lots of ways to get there, okay? Does anyone have any questions? This is going to be due Monday.